Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is ZacBandicoot here with another movie review with Dad Bandicoot.
Ed Woodbunnigat. Look me up on YouTube.
Yeah, so last night we just saw the family comedy of the year.
And by that you mean depressing and horrific.
I guess so. Anyway, so we saw Joker. A very high anticipated Joker origin movie.
And I'll tell you, it was good. It was violent, but it was good. Wasn't the most violent film I've ever seen. There are some out there far worse.
What it mostly comes from is just the eerie feeling, the acting from how you pronounce it, Jacqueline Phoenix as Joker. It's just the whole feel. Like my heart was pounding. It had just anxiety throughout the movie.
That's true, and that this psychological thriller portion of this film, along with Phoenix's acting, grabs you from the very first scene. Even if you didn't know anything about the Joker or DC Comics, you'd be looking as a viewer, as an audience member of this movie, you'd be looking at a person and you'd be saying to yourself, this is not going to go well. This guy is heading towards an incredible psychological breakdown. See, that's how it's framed. You don't really even need the superhero elements of that universe that comes to mind.
You take the license away, you take the Joker away, you still got a good psychological thriller.
Yeah, absolutely would.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was pretty good. I don't know how to put in better words than that. But oh, and by the way, real quick, as you can see in the title, spoiler free. Still in theaters. We're not spoiling anything, and we're gonna do our best. Give a quick kind of impressions and the way the movie is without actually spoiling any plot points.
Right, now there's a lot of people who haven't seen the film and they're asking questions about whether or not this is a Batman movie.
Yes and no. Best way to describe it, because it's not supposed to tie into any movies. Like, it's separate from all the other stuff we saw, like Batman vs. Superman, right. Suicide Squad. It's got nothing to do with those.
This is not a DC Universe film.
Yeah. It takes place in, like, what, the 80s or...
1981, I think.
1981, yeah. It's a year. And it's really its own standalone thing. Like, basically, the director wanted to make a movie and use the Joker character, pretty much. But very far in between, there are some nods and, references to, Batman comics or DC Universe, or really the Batman comics. And it's not much, but what is there is really good.
Let's put it this way. A fan of Batman will not be disappointed in this Joker origin film.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some of the real hardcore comic books might be like, no, this didn't happen, not this. But the point is, it's supposed to be different.
Yeah.
I mean, things with Joker origin, it's really unknown, unclear in a lot of the stories of Batman, of Joker. And like in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight with Joker, rest Heath Ledger's soul, he was really good. But he told like a bunch of different stories in his childhood. And to everyone, like how he got his scars.
And as outstanding as Joaquin Phoenix is in this, it's not the only great performance in this movie. Robert De Niro was terrific as the late night talk show host, and the actress, and I do forget her name, who plays Joker's mom, is outstanding and does provide some really good scenes in the film.
Yeah, and with this, we don't expect a lot of action, obviously, and there's not like a high body count or anything. It's not like a straight like horror movie, or it's definitely not an action movie. But it's just the pacing, like the whole thriller thing. Like, honestly, we don't really get a lot of movies like this nowadays. These kind of risks.
That's
we really
true.
don't.
And I'll tell you something else. As gritty and as dark as this film makes Gotham, well, we all know New York is a substitute for Gotham. I grew up in New York City, and in the 1970s, there are a lot of streets in New York and a lot of subways in New York City that look just like this. So as much as it takes it a little bit over the top, it's not by much. There was a very dark time in New York City back in the 70s.
After your riots and stuff.
When there were riots, there were subway stations you just would not visit. There were streets you wouldn't want to go down. There were garbage strikes and and trash piled high. So as gritty and dark as this looks, it's not so far from some parts of New York City back in the late 70s.
It's a good thing I had you for this, seriously.
Yeah. Well, that was,
It's
yeah.
yeah, and
So obviously you do get
Yes.
looks at Gotham, again, aka New York, because
Yeah,
New York
yeah.
is always the fill-in for Gotham City. But they bring you into the subways, they bring you down back alleys, they bring you to, and this is really not a spoiler, but they bring you in front of Arkham Asylum, where they must have taken something like New York City City Hall, and of course CGI'd Arkham Asylum across it, but and the far views, the landscape views of New York City, they've edited out all the modern big buildings, and so it does look like the landscape.
that's what I was impressed with. I was wondering how they pulled that off, because obviously they filmed in New York.
Yeah.
I was wondering how
they digitized those out
Yeah.
like they do any special effects, and so they took out all the modern skyscrapers and left you with a cityscape that looked like early 1980s, late 70s New York City.
Now we should probably get a little bit more into Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Joker.
Disturbing. I mean, there's a lot of ways to describe it.
Disturbingly fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean, it draws you in. It's the kind of performance where unfortunately for this poor actor, people ask, is there something wrong with this guy? How can he be so
I
good?
know.
How can he be so good at playing someone who's having such a
It's
mental
someone
breakdown?
who pours his heart and soul into playing a role. He takes his job seriously as an actor and just even put his body through a lot. The guy literally lived on like lettuce and water to get himself that skinny.
Yeah, right. Well,
That's
you
not
see-
special
right.
effects.
And you
He
see
did that.
That's right, and this isn't spoiler because you see these from the trailer.
Yeah.
That this
The
was
ribs
not a
showing.
special effect. This was him getting his body in that kind of condition.
Yeah, and that's impressive, and his Joker laugh, spot on,
Right.
absolute spot on, and not spoiling anything. They do have like a reason that he laughs all the time like that, but I mean you'll see. I mean
Yeah.
obviously it'd be
Yeah.
a important plot point, but yeah, and
And you know, come to think of it, Christian Bale, who we all know lifted Batman movies to new heights,
Yeah.
was in a movie, and the name escapes me.
The Machinist.
The Machinist,
Yeah.
absolutely, where he starved himself like that. This type of method acting.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro did it. He did it for Raging Bull.
Oh yeah, where he got fat
he got
and
in
then
super
got in
shape, then he got himself in out of shape and by eating and taking pills for weight gain of whole things.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah.
And you know, it did get to a point. Again, it's not going to spoil anything. Where I was like, was he actually going to be like Joker? Really act like Joker? I mean, it was creepy throughout, but like, when is this? But then it got to a point, and me and my dad were like to each other, "Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's Joker. That's the Joker we know."
It was absolutely believable, and for myself, I didn't mind the pacing at all. Some folks might think that it was a little slow in the beginning.
I said it was a little slow at times.
But it drew me in and kept me there. I hardly realized it was a 2-hour film, and it was a full 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And then it just went by
But
quickly.
when
was
it picks
so
up, though,
well-paced.
especially towards the end, it picks up.
When it picks up,
Oh, yeah.
hold on to your hats. Okay?
Yeah.
And okay, it is violent. We've all seen violent films.
Seems feels more violent than this,
a
though.
lot, lot of filmmakers are pushing the envelope, but this isn't any more violent than The Hateful Eight or a Tarantino film.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or a typical Tarantino film. So for that, I'd say it's not, like you said, Zach. It's not the most violent film you're ever going to see, and the violence is in context of this character.
But I mean,
and
it's definitely not for everyone. If you don't like violent, dark stuff, and you like the happy like Marvel movies or even some of the other DC movies, probably not for you.
yeah. Well, I like happy
So-
endings. I like Pixar films.
Well, that too. Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing. I say movies should come around like this a little more often, but again, not exactly the kind of thing I'd want to watch every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you agree with that.
Yeah. But I'm not opposed to seeing something gritty once in a while.
Every now and then, and there's needs to be more movies like this, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, well,
So I would say, if you're a DC fan, if you're a comic book fan, if you're a Batman fan, you're not going to have a problem with this film. I think you'll actually enjoy it. Plus, I think there are people who like a good psychological thriller who will also find this movie entertaining. And I think this is one of those performances where there's so much Oscar buzz right now. It's almost like you might as well just give it to the guy.
Just give it to him right now. Yeah, you know, I don't have too much to go off that for my final verdict. I mean, I agree. If you're a DC or comic book fan, you'll probably appreciate this at least. I mean, a few fans here and there will be like, no, it's not in the comics, not this, not that, but that's not the point. Like, it's supposed to be its own standalone thing.
Exactly.
In fact, for the Easter eggs or callbacks we did get to the original Batmans, be grateful that was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, again, like, yeah, it's dark, it's gritty. There's some, not throughout, but there are some violent scenes. It can be a hard watch for some people. Most disturbing was just the way Joaquin Phoenix acted, period. And it would be criminal for him not to even get nominated for Best Actor.
Sure.
I hope he does. I hope he gets nominated for more.
Yeah.
Maybe even up for Best Picture. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but anyway, like, my final verdict is, if I had to rate this movie, it'd be close to a 10 out of 10 for me, almost. A few problems I had here and there. Like, there was one particular scene, not to give anything away, where it didn't... basically, it gave you, like, a plot point in the movie, and it didn't respect the audience enough to kind of put two and two together.
Right. You'll see this where they show you a scene and then they show you flashbacks to other parts of the movie where the simple line of dialogue that they provided did the trick. But it looked like the filmmakers were a little bit insecure and they had to give you flashbacks to say, see, this was this. Yeah. So, but you'll see. When you see that scene, you'll know what I mean. A simple line of dialogue would have done it. But they didn't give the audience enough credit for putting two to two together.
But that's just
some of the little complaints about it.
But that's just nitpicking. This movie
that's picking fly poop out of the black pepper.
Yeah, exactly. That's just nitpicking. I mean, overall, it's well put together. The opening and then the ending was like an old 70s movies, which you'd appreciate, that kind of style. And there are like twists and turns. Like, you think, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh no, this happened. Or I think it's gonna happen. Or they're gonna go with something else. Oh wait, this did happen. Wow. So overall, I would highly recommend, if you don't mind violence, disturbing movies, and as a comic book fan, you will appreciate this. So, yep. So, you know what? So, thumbs up me, man. Thumbs up from him.
And so this is ZacBandicoot.
That has been Edward Barker, my dad. Check out his channel. So, everyone, till next time, drop a like, really help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. And the next time, whoa!